One of the biggest misconceptions about wine education is that it is a subject which is very snobby or very elitist, or that you are coming to do something a little bit fancy. And I think this is something you see on a lot of people's faces when they come in. I'm here to learn about wine. This is something a bit fancy, and I don't know if this is above me, or I don't know if this is like beyond my comprehension. Wine is an agricultural product. You know, if we were all going off to learn about potatoes, I don't think anyone would be talking about it like it was fancy, but... Wine Courses Barcelona is primarily a school for WSET certifications. That's the bulk of our business. We teach levels 1 up to 3 in English and Spanish. And we also do some staff training, some private stuff for like corporate events, but the majority of our business is teaching WSET.
Somos una escuela fundada en el 2015 y tenemos la suerte que desde entonces hemos contado con más de 1,000 estudiantes en nuestras clases. Tenemos también mucha suerte porque la mayoría de ellos vienen a nosotros por recomendación de estudiantes pasados que han tenido buenas experiencias en la escuela y que nos han recomendado y por eso han llegado a nosotros.
I think a lot of people come to us because it's for their career, because they want to either get into wine in the first place or they want to progress in their careers. They want something that is globally recognized, that is an industry standard for wine certifications and for wine knowledge. The other reason people are motivated to come and do a course is because they love wine, they are excited by wine, but they have a lot of questions and they want to find some of those answers, and they want to try to put things a little bit into their boxes, because in the end, when you're a casual wine drinker, when you're a casual wine lover, you pick up information from so many different places. You pick it up from drinking a wine in a restaurant and asking a question about it. You pick up information from your friends and what other people are bringing around to your house. You pick up information from traveling, and sometimes you have all these little bits of information and you want to see how it fits into the whole.
No somos una escuela que simplemente da cursos de vino. Intentamos siempre hacerlo una experiencia bastante personal, acompañar a nuestros estudiantes a lo largo del proceso de aprendizaje para que sea lo más rico y que puedan obtener el mayor aprendizaje posible.
So when I first arrived in Barcelona, one of the main things I wanted to do was get a bit more credibility in the wine industry. I didn't have many contacts, and I knew that was one of the first things I wanted to do. So I firstly tried to look for a wine course where it could help me do my next level of certification, my level 3. I looked online, I searched around a number of places, and I came across Wine Courses Barcelona.
I did the level 2 also here in Barcelona, and then someone told me, hey, if you want to do WSET level 3, you should do it with Sharon from Wine Courses Barcelona, because she's super friendly, she really makes sure that you pass the WSET exam at the end. And I thought, why not give it a try?
I first heard about Wine Courses Barcelona from friends that were already working in hospitality in Barcelona, and it was mainly through expats. So I was a bit shy at first. I was a bit afraid to try to not only start my development in my career as a sommelier, but also to start that in Spanish. And so I heard that Wine Courses Barcelona also offered both languages. So it was something that I was very eager to begin.
Prior to starting doing my wine education, I started at the level 2. I didn't really know what to expect at all. I didn't know what level of wine knowledge I needed, who would be taking the classes with me, or what the course information would include. All I knew is I loved wine. I spent a lot of time in the vineyards, and I needed to learn more about wine.
One thing I was kind of scared about is that I don't pass the exam. I think it's quite a normal thing to be a bit unsure about something like this, especially if you go into something that is as big as the wine world. And also with WSET, especially with the 3rd level, a lot of people tell you it's super hard. Like 50% of the students fail. You have to learn so much.
Some of my top concerns about starting wine education was blind tasting. I feel that there's this notion around blind tasting that this is some superpower that some people are born with, that this is very hard to learn. I found it quite intimidating to be able to first smell the aromas of a wine and tell you exactly, like, is it fruit, is it non-fruit? If it's not fruit, is it herbal, is it floral?
Sin duda que uno de los principales prejuicios que existe en el mundo del vino es que tienes que ser un ser superdotado a nivel de cata para poder dedicarte a esto, que tienes que tener una nariz súper poderosa, y en realidad no es así. Es todo entrenamiento y es dedicación. Puedes venir de cualquier sector y no tener ningún tipo de experiencia, quizás saber que te agrada el vino y ya está. Y con entrenamiento pues llegar a tener un buen nivel educativo y desenvolverte muy bien dentro de tanto de a nivel de conocimiento como de cata.
People come into wine and they feel a little bit anxious. They feel like they're going to make an idiot out of themselves. They feel like they don't have any of the answers yet. But none of us are embarrassed about not knowing how beer is made, for example. But people have this thing around wine where they feel like they should have a level of knowledge and they should have a level of understanding. There's no reason for that to be the case.
Yo creo que estos prejuicios pueden llegar a limitar a las personas pues a introducirse al mundo del vino, pero pienso que cada vez más se está haciendo un trabajo más amplio en presentar el mundo del vino un poquito menos serio, menos intimidante. También pues con la presencia de redes sociales hace que el vino sea un poquito más próximo y la gente se anime pues a participar en ya sea catas o cursos con más frecuencia.
So first day of the WSET was kind of interesting. You arrive at 9:30. At 10 you have the first glass of wine on the Monday morning, so you have to get a bit used to it. Of course, you don't drink it, you spit it out.
You're pretty much a young adult. It brings you back to feeling like a kid again. We're just very eager, a little bit intimidated, really wanting to get started. I feel like it's easier as an adult to go back to class because you actually care more about what you're doing.
Gabriella or myself, we turn up about 8:45. Usually, for the most part, we tend to go the day before or a couple of days before in order to set everything up so that on the day, everything is pretty much ready to go and you just need to deal with anything out of the ordinary.
Nuestros cursos comienzan con una preparación previa, que es obviamente la selección de todas las referencias que serviremos durante los días de clase. Siempre intentamos buscar esa referencia que mejor representa ya sea una zona, una variedad o un estilo de vino.
We want people to come in and feel like they have everything. There's plenty of water, they're not going to go thirsty, everything is right in front of them, there's no confusion about what glasses they're meant to use, whatever it might be. And then people start turning up usually about 9:15. Between kind of 9:15, 9:20, we start to get the first few people through the door. We chat. We are chatters, both of us, and we want to make people feel at ease. We also want to get to know people. No matter how long we're going to be spending with them, we want to find out where they're from, where have they come from today, how are they getting on, why are they here doing the course, how long have they been in Barcelona. We're nosy people, so.
I turned up and there was a real mixed bag of people. There were people who were sommeliers, there were people who just wanted to build their own wine library or collection. They had people who worked in restaurants, they had people like myself who had come from, who were trying to build their own wine importing business, and there were people who just worked in business and liked wine. So a real mixed bag.
Overall, I was very, very excited, and also to hear about the other reasons of why the other colleagues chose to take it. And I was interested in, do they work at wineries? Are they interested in entering the import business? Or perhaps even just hospitality in general? Still trying to find my way of exactly why I was taking it.
Sí, sin duda, uno de los desafíos más comunes como educadora dentro de Wine Courses Barcelona es la diversidad de perfiles de estudiantes que manejamos en todos nuestros cursos. Son cursos que participan personas que no tienen ningún tipo de contacto profesional con el mundo del vino, personas que trabajan dentro del ámbito de la restauración y otras personas a nivel de venta, cada uno pues con enfoques diferentes. Y el desafío principal es hacer que todos estos perfiles pues se sientan cómodos y a gusto en los cursos.
The greatest thing about WSET is that we are teaching a syllabus that is very structured and is very finite. The fact that we are following a very structured syllabus helps to put everyone on the same page.
El nivel 1 del WSET tiene una duración de un día, generalmente durante los fines de semana, porque es un curso introductorio, más divertido, que está abierto para cualquier tipo de persona que esté interesada en aprender un poquito más. El nivel 2 son 3 días de formación, es un curso pues mucho más amplio, el salto en conocimiento es mucho mayor, te da pues un enfoque un poquito más global de lo que es el vino y la producción del vino. Y el nivel 3 es un curso más demandante, necesitas más horas de estudio también privado y tiene una duración de 6 días. Lo ofrecemos usualmente en formato ya sea de fin de semana o durante la semana.
By the time that actually 9:30 hits, you kind of know most of the people already. They feel at ease, you feel at ease, you're ready to go.
Una vez que las clases comienzan, suelen ser clases bastante dinámicas. La certificación del WSET combina un poco lo que es la teoría y la práctica muy bien. Son clases llenas de información, pero también a la par de mucha práctica. Catamos muchas referencias a lo largo de todas esas horas.
We teach between 9:30 until lunchtime. We take a short break in the morning. And then we teach for the afternoon. We finish up about 5:30, and then hopefully everyone gets to take some wine home, because it's very important. Whatever's left in the bottle, we always encourage people to take it away with you. Make sure that you taste it again at home. Have a look back at your tasting note.
It's great because there were a lot of things that I didn't understand before, that I didn't understand maybe not correctly. So it's a big help to have someone, and you can ask the questions again and again until you really understood them.
We covered a lot of the theoretical concepts, and that's a slow start into it, but really important. And maybe in retrospect, that could have been content right at the end, because you drink the wine and you start to go, okay, this has got a bit more texture of butter or brioche, and you're like, okay, why does that happen?
El objetivo principal de estas certificaciones del WSET, al ser una certificación internacional, es trabajar con los estudiantes para lograr una uniformidad a nivel de conocimiento, y no solo conocimiento, sino también de estructura de cata.
I feel that a good lesson that I learned in Wine Courses Barcelona is the final wine is not the important part. The important part is the process, is the journey to getting there. And this is what really teaches me on a daily basis of how to hone in on those techniques of blind tasting.
As I was approaching the exam, I had friends visiting, so I was really concerned about the amount of time I had and how much I need to learn. I honestly didn't know the best approach to get there in terms of the content.
Before I went into the exam, on one side I was a bit relaxed because I'm usually the type for being more relaxed in these situations. And on the other hand, I also thought, okay, it's so much that you had to learn.
It really took me actually going back through the notes that Sharon made, mapping it all out in my brain, and then doing exam practice. Most important thing. Do the exam practice, send it to Sharon, and Sharon, no matter what she's doing, she's going to turn it around for you in 24 hours. So that was valuable.
Talking about, fears and apprehensions, I think my level 3 students are the people who pop into my head, because of course there's people who are worried at level 1 or level 2 about whether or not they'll pass the exam or whether or not they're understanding everything. But I think level 3 has always got more of a sense of apprehension, because it's more of an investment. It's much more difficult. It's much more time. And people do come to you and say, I'm really, I'm worried about this, I'm not getting this, whether it's their tasting skill or whether it's that they can't imagine how they're possibly going to absorb all of the theory in the space of time.
El nivel 3 es un nivel mucho más demandante, requiere muchas más horas de estudio personal, y con este nivel, ya que incluye pues el examen, una parte de cata y una parte de desarrollo, intentamos abarcar cada área un poquito independientemente.
In terms of preparing people for the level 3 exam, for the most part, tend to run quite long, like level 3 courses, like over several weeks, so that you have some time in between classes to revise, to do the reading for the next class, to ensure that you're going back over stuff that you've just done, and so on. And from the second class onwards, we assign homework assignments using a past paper that's provided by WSET. So based on the theory that they've done in that class, they should be able to answer the questions that we set for that week.
Es un nivel que requiere no solamente absorber mucha información y memorizar lo que es el material de estudio, sino que ya es un nivel que te pide cierto sentido un poco más crítico, preguntar cosas como cómo, por qué.
Getting as much feedback as possible on the theory is key to passing the exam.
I had quite a bit of wine knowledge by the time that the exam came, so I felt fairly confident about being able to answer most of the questions that were given to me. But the biggest challenge was how to answer them in the WSET format.
Having someone go, okay, I need to read the question really carefully, have a look at what the key words are, let's think about how to answer this better next time around, means that you see improvement over the weeks so much that the times people sit down in their exam, they know exactly what's expected of them.
I felt well prepared. I felt like I knew the content. I felt like I was given the right opportunity to test, to understand the taste testing, what I should and shouldn't do, and the levels, and calibrate it to at least Sharon's palate.
I feel that in order to receive the most amount of points, you need to answer it in such a specific way according to the examiner's rules. So this, for me, I found was the most helpful tool that Sharon gave me in Wine Courses Barcelona, in how to think like the writers of the exam. What exactly are they looking for?
I was kind of surprised by how many things I know, or how many things I really know, and by how many things I was sure, okay, this is the right answer that I'm giving.
We have hundreds of study tips, I think. You meet enough students, you learn from them as well. You see things that are useful for them, whether it's someone who's made like amazing great big visual maps, or whether it's someone who's developed like a spreadsheet system for organizing that way, because everyone learns in a different way. So, you know, you pick up things from your students, you pick up things from your own experience, you try to identify exactly what it is that is making them worried, and you find the best solution for them.
I think the most important thing I learned was, okay, there's a lot of places, there's a lot of grapes, but it's like, what does it mean? What does it mean? How do things affect things? Because after you finish the exam, you're not going to remember every single little region. You're going to remember the things that are important.
Every step of the journey, I felt, wow, I know so much about wine. I know so much about Italy. I can draw a map of Italy. I can draw a map of Piemonte. It was such an impressive thing for me.
Even though my intention for doing WSET was not to get the certificate and to hang it on my wall or something, it actually helped me later in life. So I'm working as a sommelier, I do wine tastings, and so with the partners that I'm working with, I told them, hey, I did WSET level 3. And so it gives you some kind of proof that you know things about wine.
So the advice I would give to people starting doing the wine course, do the readings early on and do your best to absorb the information, and then think about how it applies to the world that you're living in wine. Spend time, go to the vineyards, drink wine early on, and really try to apply all the theory into practice, because that will bring the course to life.
I definitely recommend Wine Courses Barcelona level 2 for the whole world, because everybody should have this basic level of understanding of the thing that they're drinking. And I definitely recommend level 3 if you have the slightest more interest in the world of wine.
So if you are thinking about doing WSET and you are in Barcelona, or you want to come to Barcelona for doing WSET, I can really recommend Wine Courses Barcelona. Sharon and the other teacher, Gabby, they really make sure that you will pass the exam, and they give everything into it.
I realized I wasn't in a position beforehand to talk about the story of the vineyard, the viticulture, and the methods they're using. So it was really important for me, and these were a lot of the questions I was asking Sharon during the course, in which she showed great patience answering all of them.
I think the wine world, it's a thing that you getting into because of passion, and not because you want to make a quick buck or something. And the team of Wine Courses Barcelona, they really have the passion for it.
In the world of wine, you just have to never stop the process of learning, and you have to really put your confidence and your ego aside in order to better yourself and move forward. Because if you close your mind to the possibility of new information, or that, okay, I've learned everything there is to know about wine, then you couldn't be more wrong.
Since I started working as a sommelier, since I started doing wine tastings, I meet a lot of people who say, yeah, in my next life, in my second life, I also will do wine tastings. Or I think I also want to do WSET, I also want to learn about wine. And a lot of people, they are hesitating. But I think the wine world, it's something that you do out of passion. I don't think I ever met a single person in the wine world who says like, yeah, I'm just doing this as a job and I'm not really passionate about it. Every person that I've ever met in the wine world is passionate about it. And so if you think, okay, that's something interesting, then just do it.
Trabajamos en un sector en donde a la vez de pues aprender podemos disfrutar muchísimo de lo que es la experiencia, por ejemplo, de cata. Ya sea durante el curso y también durante el examen. Una sugerencia que siempre le damos a nuestros estudiantes es esa, que disfruten de ese momento, disfruten de los vinos que están probando, y el resultado siempre suele ser un poco más positivo cuando dejamos los nervios atrás.
We still enjoy teaching the classes even though we have repeated them so many times, because every single class is different. You know, I go home at night and I say to my family, we have had students today from Russia, from China, from Italy, from America, from Iceland. It's like we can have 14 people with 14 nationalities. So even that is like a point of difference between everyone. But everyone has their reason why they are there. Everyone has their personalities. Everyone has their different jobs. Everyone has their different experiences and reasons for being here. And I like people. So I think like I'm a person who's genuinely interested in other people. So I think that is the thing that keeps it fresh for me. I come home and I tell little anecdotes about, you know, things that I've learned that day. About restaurant recommendations that you get, because inevitably people who like wine, they like food as well. So you come home, you've got a whole new list of restaurants you need to try out. So I think that is the thing that keeps it interesting. But also, it never gets old, the sense of excitement that you get from seeing people get excited about your topic.